Alright, here we are in a game, and the first thing I wanted to look at was the menu design. Super clean, super simple menu design here. All your tabs that you need are on the side. There's also this cogwheel, and it gives settings for the actual menu accent and everything, so you can change the color of the menu accent here. You can change the background if you'd like. You can also change the primary color of the menu. You can change the background element color and the menu label text. You can also enable a menu gradient, and the menu gradient will be the same color as the accent color. Vanity also has this nice glitch effect. It's a little hard to see if you're just looking through the video, but if I turn off dim, you can kind of see it on the gloves here. I'm personally not the biggest fan of it. You might be a fan of it. I'm personally not. I like to turn it off, but you can also have it on. You can also toggle menu dim on and off. Alright, now that we got menu design out of the way, we're going to go from the bottom to the top tab. Starting off with the configs tab, they have 3 separate config systems: a settings config, a skins config, and a themes config. Your themes config is everything to do with this panel over here, so everything about your menu and everything like that. The skin config is what it sounds like, a config for your skins. And your settings config is just your regular config with all your Legitbot, visual, Misc, all those settings. A quick editor's note, they currently do not have config sharing in Vanity V2, although it will be added in the near future. They currently do not have Lua support, but it is in the works as we speak, so hopefully they add that soon. That should be pretty interesting. As for the Skinchanger tab, this is what it looks like. The list of the weapons is in the top left, so you can select the weapon, find what skin you'd like for the weapon, and there's even a picture preview of the weapon. You can add stickers if you'd like. I think the only complaint I have about the stickers is that you can't search for stickers, and CSGO has a lot of stickers in the game, so that would be nice to have a search function to that. You can also select the skin specifically for CT or T, or you can also do both teams. You can enable stat track and set the amount of kills that you'd like, and obviously you can set the pattern seed and the pattern wear, and you can also apply a name tag to the skin. As for knives, it's the same exact concept, except obviously you can't apply stickers. And again, for the gloves, you select what type of glove, what skin you want on them, what team you want, and the wear value as well. Vanity also has custom player models. I personally don't have any installed, but you guys can get some installed if you'd like. And then they also have the in-game player models, so you can select whatever you'd like, and then you got the model. Moving on to the player list tab, this gives you all the information for everybody in the server, what health they're on, what armor they have, their team that they're on, the location in the map, as well as what type of player they are, so if they're a player, if they're a bot, so on and so forth. Moving on to the Misc tab, we have logs. The logs can be for damage dealt to enemies, votes in MM, purchases like guns, armor, stuff like that, and resolver. Obviously, resolver won't work right now because there isn't a resolver in Vanity at the moment, because the anti-aim and the Ragebot tabs are still in the works, but it will be there when it is ready. You can also position the logs in the top left or the bottom right of your screen, and set specifically chat logs if you don't want them showing up on your screen and you want them in the chat. Every cheat's gonna have movement features these days, so Vanity's got some of their own. They've got just regular B-hop, and if you right click, you can set the B-hop chance. They have an auto strafer, an edge jump which you can bind to a key, and a jump bug that you can bind to a key. As for the Misc part of the Misc tab, they have a ton of features. You can reveal the Overwatch suspect, bypass the invite delay, there's auto accept, you have a clan tag changer, third person which you can bind to a key bind. You can also set a custom distance, and you can check it on so that if you're in a spinning game, you can actually watch your teammates spin instead of watching them look at the ground. They have remove UI blur, which I think is super interesting. It removes the blur on the sides of the UI. They have allow inventory as well as flip knife hand. There's also menu effects in the Misc tab. So we've got particles, and that's what you see around here. It's these blue little orbs. You can change the color to whatever you'd like. So say I want them red. You can put the particle count up and there will be more particles. The push force is the force that your mouse does when you move around. So high push force is going to move these particles around super quick, and lower push force is going to move them around a little bit less quick. You can also connect the particles. Just know if you do this and you have a high particle count, there's a high probability that you will lag. I am quite literally on like 3 FPS right now, and you can change the color of the connections as well. You can also change the minimum and the maximum size of the particles, so if you want them really big for some reason, you can have them really big. And since we are gamers out here, we can also turn it RGB if we really wanted to. But yeah, just be warned that if you have these settings too high, you will get frame drops. That's inevitable, but if you have them something light like I do, your frames won't be impacted by this. Currently, the extra side has nothing in it, but there will be more added in the future. And here we go, visuals. Probably my favorite part of this cheat at the moment. All right, so you got your normal stuff, your ESP. You can select it through walls, so the color is a little bit different. Show audible only, which is sound ESP. They also got show dormant. They have snap lines, although I'm not the biggest fan of snap lines, but if you guys like them, they are there. They have health bars, which you can actually turn into a gradient, which is pretty interesting. And you can also have auto color, so the color of the health bar matches with the health that the enemy has left. And there's health bar styles, so there's clean, quarters, which you can see these little dashes in the health bar, and then there's also tenths. As for boxes, you have all your normal stuff, being able to pick the color and everything. And for box style, you have clean, corners. There's a 3D clean, which creates a 3D box around the player model. And there's also 3D corners. I think this 3D idea is such a good concept, and I personally like how it looks. Honestly, a pretty good idea from Vanity to add this one. You can also add an outline to the box, so you can have no outline if you'd like. Style 1, which is an outline all the way around inside and outside of the box. And Style 2, which is almost like casting a shadow, and the black only comes up on one side of the box. You can also have the box filled with any color you'd like. They have skeleton ESP, view beams, which is where your enemies are looking at that current point in time, player names, which is just the names above the boxes, weapon names, and as you can see, you can also change the style from names to icons, as I have right here. There's also weapon ammo, which you can't unfortunately see because the bots are holding a knife here, but it's just a bar that goes across the bottom of the box. And then they also have radar revealer. As for chams, this is probably my favorite part of the cheat right here. So you know, you have your enabled chams, you have your through walls, so you can have different colors on those. Show audible only, which is sound ESP. And here we have the visible cham, so this is the cham type. So here, to show you guys what I mean, I'm going to take off all of this and just show you the base chams, so you can have any of these different styles of chams. But what I really like about these chams is the fact that you can add overlays, and you can add multiple overlays. So what I personally like to do is I like to go with a normal cham style, and yes, you can change the opacity right here, and I like to add rim glow and wireframes, and I think that looks absolutely sick. You can do any combination that you'd like. Just know that if you add too many layers on top of each other, you are rendering a new player model each and every time, so your game might have some performance issues if you add too many overlays. And it's the same thing with occluded chams. You can add whatever you'd like down here as well. They also have backtrack chams, which you can change the color to, and blinking chams. There is a player model over here that you can see your chams if you don't want to pull it up like me and you just want to do it in the menu. The only issue with this is that, as you can see, when you dim it, it doesn't look exactly the same, but if you're using full opacity, it'll look basically the same. The colors also match each other. They also have glow, which you can see there. You can turn auto color on, which again goes with what their health is, and full bloom, which blooms the inside of the player model. You can also turn on through walls with the same two features, and they currently have 4 different glow styles: default glow, pulse glow, edge glow, and pulse edge glow. You can also change the opacity of the glow so it's not so harsh. Onto the world tab, we have some ESP for weapons, and these would be dropped weapons. So if I drop this weapon on the ground, we can see it. You can enable a name to the weapon and boxes to the weapon. You can have chams as well with the same effects that you can have on player models. There's also grenade ESP. You can have names, boxes, prediction, which is the nade prediction, so the lines that come up when you're about to throw the nade, as well as the trajectory trail. That is the line when you throw the nade, and you can also add glow onto the trajectory trail. Molotov radius, which shows you an accurate representation of how far a molly will spread. A Molotov timer, which lets you see how long the molly has left on it. A smoke radius, same thing as the Molotov radius. And a smoke timer, same as the Molotov timer. You can also enable chams, and it's the same process as the weapon ESP and the player ESP. And both dropped guns and grenades have glow as well. As for the extra tab and visuals, we have recoil crosshair, which lets you see where your recoil is going when you are spraying. They also have bullet beams, which you can change the type: solid, beam, or bubble. They have server impacts, which are basically just where your bullet goes. They have engine crosshair, which I'm actually not too sure what this feature does. So if any of you guys know, let me know in the comment section down below. And oof arrows, which is just off-screen arrows. They also have world modulation, which includes night mode strength, bloom strength, model ambient. They also have fog changer, which you can select a color, select where the fog starts and where it ends. and the fog density. They have removals for flash, smoke, punch, and scope. You can override your view model FOV by right-clicking and sliding this slider. Your camera FOV as well, and aspect ratio. Here we go with hit markers. Yeah, your hit color, your headshot color, and your kill color, which are all customizable. You can enable a hit marker and set the length and the fade speed and damage numbers, which you can also change the text size. That's what it looks like. You can change the hit sound volume and the kill sound volume. They also have these hit effects and kill effects. As for the hit sounds and the kill sounds themselves, there are 3 default options, and you can also input custom options. As I stated before, the anti-aim and the Ragebot are not in the cheat currently, but they will be coming soon, so stay tuned for that. As for the Legitbot tab, this is where we find all the Aimbot features, your Triggerbot, your Backtrack, all that good stuff. There's a default Aimbot, rifles, op, scout, SMGs, and pistols. Here you can enable your aimbot. You can also bind it to a key, or, and this is something I really like about Vanity, you can actually have mouse-based aimbot. And for people that don't know what mouse-based aimbot is, I'm going to show you really quick by putting my field of view and my smoothing down. So instead of physically clicking your mouse to enable the aimbot, it will automatically start going, see, you can see it. It'll automatically start going to the hitbox when I move my mouse towards the enemy. You can see it better if I actually turn down my FOV like really low. See. There's also silent aim, dynamic FOV, all the smoothing information, so smoothing, FOV speed modifier, aimbot curve. They also have AWOL mid damage for all you semi-ragers out there, and auto shoot and hit chance. What I'd personally like to see in the future is all the semi-rage features separated into a different category, so they're not all just crammed in this aimbot section. And you can also select all the hitboxes, and you can also enable checks, which is labeled safety, and that's checks for the aimbot to see if you are jumping, if you are smoked, if you are flashed, or if you are scoped in. Here we have the RCS section. You can either have it enabled or disabled, and you can have the recoil control start at a certain shot. Obviously, you have your RCS pitch and yaw. If you set it to 100, it'll do a perfect spray for you. Obviously, that's a little too blatant, so I like to keep it about 15-15. And you have your RCS randomizer. As for the Triggerbot, you can enable it and set it to a key if you'd like. You can also set a Triggerbot delay, and it goes all the way up to 350. You have your hit chance, and your hitboxes, and safety. As for Backtrack, you have 0 to 12 ticks. 12 ticks is about 200 MS Backtrack. I would like to see a little bit more than 12 ticks in the future, but 12 ticks is definitely doable. And for anybody that was wondering if you're a little concerned about having mouse-based FOV on snipers, for example, you don't have to have mouse-based on every single gun type. You can actually have keybinds. As you can see, I have keybinds on my snipers, and then I have mouse-based FOV on everything else. Overall, I've been a huge supporter of Vanity since I started getting into the cheating community, and I'm really impressed about V2 and how it's turned out. Just a reminder, this is an invite-only cheat, so if you guys want to join Vanity, you guys either need an invite, or you guys can also apply on the website. Thank you to Vanity for sponsoring this video. I'm No Hyper, and I'll see you guys later. If you guys enjoyed this video, why not check out this video right here, where I try to get a Prime account Overwatch banned using Vanity Cheats.